Ba-ba-da-da-da. Hey, we are live. I think we're live. Yes, perfect. I always start these things with wondering, questioning, pondering the moment it goes live. But somewhere along the way, it's worked and we're happening. We're live streaming. Welcome to Tuesday night's Ask Me Anything. Because that's really what I'm here for. I will happily drink coffee and play tunes and just hang out and do whatever. But I really intend these sessions that if you want to jump on, pick my brains on something, if there's something you're working with, it would be cool if we could bring people on board. Hey, Audio Mordio, how's it going? Love from a mystery location. But it really is my intention that if you do jump on, you go away inspired or having learned something new. Maybe we just got to catch up and you check that I'm alive. Who knows? But if I can provide something during these sessions, then that's really the goal. So in light of that, if there is something that you want to pick my brains on tonight, let me know. I've seen a few cool things this week of people posting some different promo stuff, updating websites, all that sort of stuff. And I actually posted in a little Auckland Musicians Club group on Facebook. I posted a few examples of people that are doing really, really well with kind of new ways of performing, live streaming being one, and another one being people that have built a YouTube channel from really nothing much when we first had our lockdown in New Zealand. So I just wanted to provide some examples that it is absolutely still possible to make a living doing music. It may look a little bit different depending on where you are in the world if you can't get out and play, that sort of thing. But these examples were from New Zealand, from New York, America, and from Australia. So just to give you an example, they're people that I've had some contact with, or I know some of their story or the time frame or that sort of thing. So I posted them in there. And if you want to go and check them out, because I highly recommend, hi everybody, good morning. By the way, if you've just joined this, I highly recommend checking out people that are doing something well and making it work, because if they are, then you absolutely can. So if you want to go and look them up, Matt Baker, a pianist in New York City. I have a feeling his Facebook page is Matt Baker Piano, maybe. But that should at least get you there. He's been doing some live streaming. And yeah, again, got a really nice look, a really nice setup. If you scroll back, it didn't start exactly that way. It's a totally new venture, and he's been learning along the way how to do it well, I guess. Another guy is Sean Kirk, really phenomenal muso in Australia. Again, doing live streaming, that sort of thing, performing. He's got a phenomenal setup, and the amount of time and effort he's put into learning to play the guitar and drum and play harmonica and everything all at once is amazing. And the last one was a friend of mine in Auckland, Andrew Rooney, who built from the start of our first lockdown, has built a really, really cool and successful YouTube channel. So I just wanted to throw those out there. If you want to go and look them up, please do. And my hope with some of that info and digging into it is that you get inspired to think, maybe I could do that. And maybe week one, it's a bit of a mess and you're figuring out things. Oh, look at that. Timing. I'm talking about you. You must have known. I guarantee this is the first time you've been on the Tuesday live stream, Mr. Rooney. So there, you can go and stalk him in the chat. And But I wanted to put that out there because I know different people around the world are in different situations. So having some examples of people that are doing really well, making a living out of music, I think is really, really important because it provides some inspiration, some motivation. So yeah, anyway, good morning, everybody. Josh, Florian, Grimsh. Hey, Jason, Ed, what? This is not possible. How are you awake? Audio Mordio. I'm going to do a live loop session at Beach Bar in 1 hour, including your loops. Oh, awesome. Cool. Thank you very much. I hope you have a super, super fun loop session. Is it like, are you going to be streaming as well? I think you're actually doing a gig, which is awesome. Let me know if you're streaming and I will jump on. That will be fun. If not, I possibly can't make it to wherever you are in the world to come and see you, but very cool. Peter, hey, how's it going? Denmark, nice, welcome. Andrew is in the house as well. All right, better test out my drumming. Nope, hotel in Turkey. I probably can't make that. Enjoy though, that's very cool. I'm really happy to hear that you're going out and playing live. Very, very cool. Josh, bit late on this one, but loved your solo you did on a previous AMA for your cover of Dreams. How did you do that cool little solo run at the end of the solo? It sounded amazing. Thanks, Josh. I have no idea what I did at the end of the solo. There are a few little runs that I play around with. And I wonder if it was something along the lines of just like a little repeating. I don't know, something sort of like that. It could be anything. It's all made up depending on what I'm feeling on the day. But maybe we can look at that. Maybe, I can't remember, to be honest, from what I did on that. I do use a lot of the open strings or some of those little things to have pull-offs and get around a few little faster runs, I guess. I'm absolutely making this up because I don't remember. So if that's close, then let me know and we'll talk about it. Otherwise, I will go back and or send me the time code and I'll have a look and I can send you a message. But failing that, if anyone has any, as always, if anyone has any questions, fire them into the chat. Hopefully, I will be able to talk about them, which I haven't done very well, Josh, with that one, man. But hopefully I'll be able to talk about them. And otherwise, we'll maybe play some tunes. Cheers. You have to give me warning next time, Josh. Send me a message in advance being like, can we talk about this on the live stream? And I'll get a chance to check it out. But yeah, talking about, I have sweet. I have had a few questions about soloing. So why don't we start there? Yeah, there's a lot to do and learn in music. This is very true. Which makes right. Okay, hang on. There's more. How do I decide what to do and what to focus? Okay. Tangents. We're scrapping soloing because we actually have a real question. Right. Sorry. More questions. Just briefly. Guitar settings on Audio Mordio. There is a video that I've done with my guitar settings, so I will send you a link to those. Enjoy your show. I hope you have an amazing time and have fun looping. I will send you a link to my settings on TC Helicon because at the moment I have the blue screen of death and I can't show you a lot. Anyway, but getting into this question, Andrew, how do I decide what to do and what to focus on? I go through phases of being focused on specific techniques, styles, songs and things like that. And for me, my overall goal is kind of like adding tools to my toolkit and just gradually improving different things. Like, but there's also, see you later, audio. I like your YouTube name, by the way. I'm presuming that's not your real name, but have a good gig. There's a lot I can't do. You will have not seen me do any sweep picking arpeggios. You will have, a bunch of those sorts of things. I am quite a slow player picking wise, which is actually something I decided to spend time working on in our first lockdown. Every day I would start with 10 minutes on a timer of doing some picking exercises. And so really for me, I set goals on a specific area to improve. And as an example, that's one area that I've improved, but it came at a loss of, during that time, of all the folksy, let's just get a better shot there so you can see my hands. Folksy picking that I did a lot of, all the Chet Atkins style stuff. So I think it's important to maybe realize, for me anyway, I can only talk for myself, but for me, it's been super important to realize that even when I'm 110, 120, there will be parts of music that I have absolutely no idea about, and that I'm not skilled at. I'm okay. I'm absolutely okay with that. And so I want to concentrate on spending some more time doing this folk style. And so I guess it's narrowing down what sort of music I like. And this stuff fascinates my brain, where you've got a whole lot of things going at once. It's probably why I like Fleetwood Mac with all the and all the crazy little runs that Lindsey Buckingham does. So for me, it's about enjoy. I guess if I narrowed this down, it would be about enjoyment in music. And I'm going to spend a lot of time on things that I enjoy, even if they're furiously frustrating. The fact that I've learned some of the things that I've learned, I have sat for hours looking at things being like, how on earth does this happen? But it's something I really like and I keep going back to, and so I keep working on it. Whereas I think it's very hard if you don't have either a song or a style or a technique that you're determined to learn, to keep going, because it's like, I'm sure most of you here anyway play the guitar, and I'm sure you've all heard people that are like, I tried for 2 weeks and it hurt my fingers, just painful, and I was no good at it. And it's like, that was me after 2 weeks as well. It hurt my fingers and it was painful, but I loved it. I loved the sound of being able to pick up the guitar, and it probably didn't sound like that to start with. It probably going through that process, and there's a real sense of satisfaction that I get from learning something new or being able to play a tune. And the most recent little tune that I learned, I think I played it on the last live streams, but I just get so much enjoyment out of being able to play. And this is not super hard while I'm playing, but the enjoyment has me spend more and more time on the guitar. And so this is a very long answer to, Siri thinks I'm talking about Sue. But the thing is, it's inspiration for me, like this balance of knowing I love this and I want to be able to do more. And the more I learn, the more I can express myself, and it feels good. But there's a frustration through that as well. So it's just constantly finding the balance between enjoyment and inspiration, finding things, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I could do that, and literally sitting down with the guitar to experiment with it. If I was to talk about learning music, I would talk about it like experiment with your instrument. Maybe don't sit down to like, right, I have to practice, because often that time has an energy of like, I'm setting my metronome and I'm gonna be here for 10 minutes, like. And you're thinking about like, oh, man, all my friends are outside, or they're going to something else, and I've got like 9 minutes remaining of this. Little exercise. So, you know, I hope this is landing for some of you, but it's if you can focus on the enjoyment from having achieved something. So when you got a piece, I don't know, I'm curious, genuinely curious for anyone that's on right now. Is there something that you remember when I say this that you're like, you know what? I remember when I first learned this, or I first learned my song that had bar chords and all of the notes rang out when I played them. Or I remember learning, this is going to be a good test if I can remember it, but I remember the first alternate thumb picking song, which if any of is your thumb keeps doing this, and then you play the melody. I'm playing it like halftime, hey. It's been way too long. But the first thing I learned was Freight Train. I remember being so happy when I realized I could keep this going and play a tune. So something like that. But I would sit for hours doing it. So yeah, again, I'm really curious for anyone else if there's things that you think, yep, that's what it's about. And I have my slumps, but it's like the longest possible answer. Yeah. Anyway, enjoyment, what you like listening to, what it excites you about playing on the guitar. And then I think in terms of focusing on things, if there's a skill missing that doesn't allow me to play that style or that sort of stuff, then I kind of need to work on it. So one of the things I was looking at when I talk about over that first period of improving my picking and coordination, picking speed and coordination between this hand, I wanted to play, a long time ago I started learning it, but Tamakun by Rodrigo and Gabriela, which has got that. And I was always struggling to keep up with the and so I wanted to get my speed up because there's some string crossing, which I was really struggling to get at the. And you can hear now if I try and push myself at that speed, it's kind of stilted. It's not like smooth. When I push myself, it gets this like. So I would sit there and I started doing 10 minutes a day of just getting basic exercises. With a metronome rather than what I'm doing now. to improve the skills behind it, and then go and practice the tune, and then improve the skills behind it, and then go and practice the tune. So I've always have a goal of something music-wise that I want to learn, which is why I'm doing the skills practice, I think. So anyway, some tunes. John Paul, thanks, man. Yeah, orange headphones. I got caught out totally. I'm giving Ed comments on his orange mic, but there's going to be more Ed Sheeran tomorrow. Actually, we looked at. Can't say anything. It's not out yet, but you'll see it very soon. Ed, I hope your calf muscle is doing okay, and thanks for being on here. Rest up, look after yourself. Right, Grimsh, some picks. Grimsh, I'm still honestly learning. I haven't done that style for quite a while, although I do, in terms of actual guitar melodies and things, although I do quite a bit of just like singer-songwriter thumb picking, where it's less heavy on the technical side. But I would sit for quite a while to get this thumb independent. And this is a good thing you can practice. For those of you that want to do this independent style, is anchor these 3 fingers on the strings so they're not going to move. They're gripping onto those first 3 strings. I'm going to use a C chord and just have the thumb alternate, and I'm alternating this 3rd finger between the bass notes. So we're going to get I should rewind just a little bit. Grip these 3 fingers on and just get used to your thumb doing that on its own first. That will start to separate out the muscles from moving, wanting to move when your thumb moves. Then add in on the first beat, F chord, G chord, and you'll notice if you watch back on this, the thumb picking changes when we go to the 6th string chords. And the picking pattern changes slightly. And then to just get this a little bit further is do a little stop. And you'll start, that in itself can take quite a long time of just repeating it. Brain frustration to get it together. But that really, really helped me. And think of that as a really core platform of separating out what this hand does so that you start getting independence with it. Nice. Cool. Bishop, I'd love to hear your approach to building and selecting your repertoire. It's pretty random. I'll be honest. It really is pretty random. I find songs that I like in general. For a good while, I learned what was popular and kind of what I thought needed to be played in venues. And then I started losing a bit of interest in music in general. And so then you just spend less time practicing playing. And then as I started diving into music that I really enjoy and spending time on it, I started spending more time back on the guitar and playing. And I mean, a good example is this Everywhere that I just learned. It's not all put together. Shimna and I, for those of you that know her on the violin, had a practice today. We're going to be doing some live streaming together. It is, I think, since February, since we last played. And so we spent today figuring out repertoire, going back over some old stuff. We're going to play around with doing Everywhere because I'm just enjoying it at the moment. So kind of like, let's figure out a version, and that version will change as we play it, as we experiment with ideas and take the time. So that's kind of a history and juggle through selecting repertoire. But there's some songs that are just fun because you know they're going to entertain people and people will enjoy them. You've got an idea for a cool loop with them, something interesting, and they just naturally seem to be a great choice and really, really happy. Grimshaw, I was really happy when I had the bass line down, but I'm far from having it down. Cool. The other one that's really the opposite is the Tommy Emmanuel version of Day Tripper, which again, it's been a long time, but that's where your thumb's doing a separate thing and you start with your fingers are doing the same thing. And I think those things, when I think about it, it's just a case of going back to really slowly the amount of times I'd muck it up trying to get, and then like, oh, I'm mucking it up now. It needs some work if I was to play that again live, which I guess I just did, but right, hang on. Let me catch up on this. John Paul, I would sit for hours making a wall of noise of harmonies vocally with my very first Luke Peddle until told to use my headphones by my flatmate at the time. I like it. Yeah. I think I remind myself of this at the moment. It's absolutely okay to be a bit shit and try some new stuff. And in the process you learn. And I'm noticing it for myself. Like I want to always be like, yeah, I've got my show. I've got my act now. It's like, no, sometimes absolutely magical. It all is great. I've practiced it. Comes out perfect. Sometimes I'm like, why on earth did I try that today? So, Tune Westorp, is that how I say your name? Tune? Is there an easier way to use the C track on the Voice Live 3? Probably not. I don't really use it much. The main reason I use it is if I build a rhythm on track A, I put a part on track B, a chord sequence of some sort, and then I want to switch to another chord sequence on track C over top of still that rhythm on track A. Or the other thing I do, very similar, but I actually build a whole track on track B for one song. On track C, I'll build a whole track, a chord sequence that I'll use for another song where I'm going to use the same rhythm track or add to it for the second song, add to the rhythm as well. So that's about the only way, but it is constantly going back to that looper screen and recording and setting it up. So Chomley, backing tracks help me realize that always room for improvement. Then I jam with someone or a folk group and feel better as enjoy the musicality where I'm at now. Yeah, cool. I think it's super important to just enjoy and appreciate where you've come from and acknowledge what we learn. I remember being in, I'm not sure if I've shared this before, but I remember was my first proper gig where I think I got $50 at the Starbucks, local Starbucks in Palmerston North. And this backpacker came in and he played the... I thought I could play it. The Dead or Alive theme. And I remember really clearly sitting there going, wow, like that is amazing. Because I had just learned bar chords and was like fighting to keep them on. And somewhere down the track, I started playing that song. And I had this moment where I thought, that's quite cool. I never even noticed that I'd improved enough to learn that. And I remembered watching that guy and being so amazed. And then it was sort of like something I took for granted. So yeah, I think having some perspective and realizing that we're learning more and improving. It's cool, Chomley, that you've got that with, you notice the difference from your practice when you catch up with people. Josh, litmus test for learnt song ready for a live performance. Do you just do that one song completely or kind of wing it? Both is probably my answer for that. There's a lot of times that I have thought that I'm ready for live performance and I'm really not. And usually that comes from practicing sitting down all the time rather than chucking on a strap, playing the song, testing it out in different environments. And a really good example was the Big Love, because I thought I had it sitting down, and then suddenly on stage, standing up, nerves kick in, my own thoughts of like wanting to nail it rather than being in a state where I was relaxed and just could enjoy the music. I was still mentally going like, hope this works. And so that's a song that if I am super relaxed and I need to spend some more time on it now, but if I play it at a slow pace, I'm super relaxed. It's all good. It's a great tune. I have a lot of fun with it. If I push myself or inadvertently start it a little bit quick on stage, it becomes a mess pretty quickly. So, and I found that out by performing and being like, okay, it needs more time. So, other things, there's some songs that if someone, I'll happily play, and depending on the environment, the mood and things like that too, will be like, yeah, let's have some fun with music and give it a shot just for a laugh, depending on the show, again, what we're doing. But in terms of the stuff with Shimna, I'd say we do a similar thing for festivals. There's a lot that's well rehearsed and practiced. And then sometimes we're just like, hey, I'm really digging this song at the moment. Should we play that? Let's just quickly get an arrangement of it and see what comes out. So there's both. Right, carrying on. I need coffee before answering Josh number 2. Welcome to everyone that's just joined, by the way, wherever you are in the world, if it's morning or evening. Ezekiel, good morning. Yeah, it's good evening here, but good morning to you from wherever you are in the world. Going back up, Josh, totally off topic, but I've been doing heaps of research over the weekend on Ed's Looper. I came across a video of him that could mean he doesn't do it all by himself. Okay, it's remote controlled. I have wondered this watching Bloodstream, Josh. Very curious for two reasons. One being when he starts his loops, he's really tight in time. Like, so for Bloodstream, and this is also kudos to him for practice and timing, but to lock into and have that be your loop nicely in time, it's going to make a big difference if there's a click or something going on. And also, it doesn't appear that he stops the loop for his very last, where he's got and then it stops and he's got his last. So curious. Send me the video if you would. I'd be very curious to see this. No, Grimsh, happy practicing, man. Bishop, absolutely. Every gig is different, and I think just in case you're watching this video rather than reading chat, do I play coffee shop type gigs differently than parties where people want higher energy material, want to dance? Absolutely. My set list changes. All of that changes and gets rearranged, basically. So, yes is the simple answer to that. I will do a lot more folky, a lot more singer-songwriter stuff on a Sunday afternoon or whatever might be happening there than if it was Saturday night and everyone's getting out playing and doing all sorts. So, oh, nice. Carl Wachner's Tennessee Whiskey cover. Okay. Nice. I will check it out. Yeah, Day Tripper takes a little bit of work. It's actually something I'd love to get back up and playing. So maybe, speaking of how I focus on what I'm going to do, it may well be something that I'll look at for diving back into practice-wise, because at some point I used to play it live and his Day Tripper Lady Madonna combo. Did I get my VL3 fixed? No, to be honest, I have the tools and can go and sort it out, but they are right in the very back of a storage locker at the moment. So I'm going to be doing a couple of gigs with a blue screen, and that's how I'm going to do the gigs this week. Keeping things pretty simple, but yeah, again, I know my way around the unit pretty well to do that. The only thing I couldn't, if I wanted new tones, new settings, things like that, I can't use it at the moment for that side of things. But in terms of basic looping, playing, and being able to change my... Oh, you're not going to hear anything different. Being able to change my presets. I've got that pretty... Just familiar from doing a bunch of shows is really all it is. Right. Okay, Ezekiel, I'm finally up to your question. How do I do in-ear monitoring when I do a live show? I don't always use in-ears. One moment, please. I have... This has come up on the on some of the videos, I think. I have used in-ears if it's a solo show direct out of the Voice Live 3. I don't like the sound of it. It somehow comes out really thin in my experience, and I don't have fancy in-ears. I have the basic Shure in-ear monitors, which there'd probably be a little bit more love if I paid more for some nicer ones. But I find that using a headphone out, and I just have a long extension lead from the desk that I'm running, and then that way as well, if I'm doing a combo with people, I have everyone who's in the mix coming back into my in-ears. Again, you can do... Yeah, there's various ways of doing it, but I literally bought a very, very long extension lead so that I can plug them in through the actual desk, wherever that is, and just have to be a little bit careful with running cables and where everything goes. Yeah. So Josh, the Allah isn't controlled by him. When they're turned on, he definitely isn't doing anything with the pedal. It's the fourth track. I feel like I missed something. What video are we talking about, Josh? The Da-na-na-na. Lockdown has basically made me reevaluate who and what I am, reinventing myself. Fast Eddie and the Invisible. I love it, man. Fast Eddie and the Invisibles using an RC300. That's very cool. I think for a lot of us, we've re-looked at all sorts of stuff. Like, what are we doing during lockdown? And Ezekiel, you're most welcome, my friend. Hope that helps in some way of giving you some new ideas or playing around with sound and tone and all this fun stuff. So who knows where we'll all end up when lockdown finally is over in 2034 and we're allowed to explore the world and actually say hi and have a beer in person. That'd be great. Julian, welcome. Hey, I just realized you're streaming today. Hey, I just realized you're on. Hi. How's it going? I'm just going to go back through, for anyone that watched this little coordination thing that I've been doing. I did it a lot during lockdown, and it really helped me with my picking. My picking's not super fancy with this right hand coordination. And what it is, I'm just going to walk you through it in case anyone's wondering, help, how can I improve my picking? This helped me, so it might help you. Also, I'm saying this realizing that I'm not actually great at this skill. So if it's useful, wonderful. If it's not, you can absolutely ditch it. But it has to do with string crossing, and for a long time I practiced the just 1, 2, 3, 4 on each string, but you're always crossing with the same downstroke. So downstroke, next string is a downstroke, and you can change that and start with an upstroke, but then you're still always doing the string crossing with an upstroke. For those of you that aren't guitarists or just hanging out, you can probably ignore this part, but this is from some various YouTube video I watched, and it makes absolute sense and is brilliant. But it is playing your 4 and then starting the next one with your first finger on the next string while the rest of your fingers remain on the 6th string. And then you're getting 2 and then 3 fingers on the next string, and then you'll do all 4. So in case that was confusing, I'm going to go through it slowly. And you'd carry on. So the same on the way back, you're going to do your 4, just the first finger on the next string, then the next time the first and second fingers, first, second, third, and then all 4. So there you go. There's a handy little string crossing exercise that I spent 10 minutes a day basically doing similar combinations around that, working on my picking and some string crossing, just to get things happening and rolling. But thanks. Tonight's been really good. I was going to say different. I quite like it. I feel like I've just been chatting about lots of my theories and philosophies on things, but going back to an earlier question of like how I decide what to focus on, I don't think there's necessarily a right path, and we're all different people in general. So, and we all want different things out of music. We all play differently. We all do different stuff. The one thing I would add, just kind of summing up and winding up this evening's little live stream, unless there's any more wonderful, questions and things, then it's kind of like, remember to push yourself. And I don't mean push yourself in the way that lots of people are like, just go harder, longer. I mean, like, challenge yourself to be like, I wonder if I can learn something new. I wonder if I can learn some rhythm. I wonder if I could learn something that currently I'm not that great at, and put the time in and be a little bit awkward with it. It doesn't have to turn up in your set necessarily straight away, but it could end up being a useful skill. So, you're welcome, Bishop. Thanks for tuning in. Anthony James Brown, wondering if you have any reggae grooves in my set. Yes. not a huge lot, to be honest. But yes, is the simple answer to that. What do you credit for helping you develop as a musician the most? The one thing that comes to mind, and this is kind of funny, but I was not great at expressing myself, and that can be a guy thing, that can be whatever, but I mean emotionally, and I did it through the guitar and through singing. So it seems like maybe an odd answer, but a lot of what I wrote, if I was feeling sad or depressed, I played the guitar and I played these like sad little things, and somehow it allowed that emotion out of me. And equally, if I was happy, then you're like, I played different little bits and pieces that had me feel that way and express that. So, it was kind of like, that sort of seems like an odd answer to that question, but I would say that, like, having this be an outlet that I almost would say I needed for a period of time in my life, and now maybe it's not needed, but I really appreciate it as an outlet. And and then I would say the other thing is I have this thing that if I see someone doing something online or playing something on a guitar, then it's possible for me to play it, and it's possible for you to play it. Will we play it the same? No, absolutely not. For example, I remember learning, and this is like all the test of random things I haven't been playing, but I remember learning Neon by John Mayer, and my hands are not the same size as his hands. We haven't met and compared, but I can tell you that they're not. And I remember starting to learn Stop This Train, and I had to, when he does this with his thumb still on the third fret, I realized that doesn't work. I'm going to have to play it with my first finger there. I retuned, but so there's different ways, and that's kind of what I was getting to with Neon. I can't use my thumb in all the places that he does to do the bass lines, but I could still work out. So messy. You guys have brought up some stuff for me tonight that I'm like, I really want to go and practice and improve this stuff again that I haven't been playing for a while. So yeah, I'm gonna sign out and play it and do some John Mayer neon playing and some folksy fingerstyle stuff. Hey Matt, how's it going? Thanks for saying it was awesome. I feel very awkward playing that having not for a while. So I think that's what's going to happen tonight. James, Anthony. Sorry, for some reason I want to call you James Brown, but Anthony. I'm not going to finish with some reggae tonight, man. Sorry. I'm gonna finish with signing out and finishing my coffee and setting a little metronome and getting back into playing Neon by John Mayer, because you've inspired me tonight with your questions and all this fun stuff. So thanks for hanging out. I hope tonight's been really useful for you all, and appreciate you being here. I'm gonna try not to give Ed Sheeran too much stick about colors of things in the morning. When another little video comes out with me trying to pick apart what he is up to. I had a lot of fun doing it. So that'll be up on the channel in some amount of hours, and we'll catch you there. But thanks everyone for tuning in. I will see you another time, maybe next week. And happy playing and practicing. Cheers, everybody. Thanks, Florian. Thanks. Cheers, guys. Ciao.